Welcome to Mobile Legends!
If you're interested in Roger and have looked through his recommended builds before, most of them are using a crit build, which is actually a solid build too. But if we take a look at the current meta, there are plenty of tanky fighters being played in almost every role, sometimes even in the gold lane. So today, I'd like to introduce you to a build that makes full use of Roger's passives, making it easy to shred tanks. If we take a look at Roger's passive, we can see that Roger's attacks have HP shredding effects. Specifically, he deals extra damage to healthy enemies in his human form, while he deals extra damage to low HP enemies in his wolf form. This is why we usually want to be in human form at the start of fights, when enemies are still healthy, and then transforming to wolf form to finish off enemies. The effects of these passives are considered something called attack effects, and I want you to remember this, as it's going to be important as we talk about the rest of this build.
You will also be cursed!
If you haven't noticed yet, I am playing Roger in the gold lane and not a jungler. Roger was actually the top meta gold laner a few seasons ago, but has fallen off since then after a couple of nerfs. And it's mostly because he can struggle early game against meta gold laners that have strong early game presence, such as the Granger we're facing here. But you'll see how we can overcome this problem throughout this match. Anyways, I'm rushing warrior boots as my first item as I'm expecting to take plenty of physical damage in the early game. Granger will be poking us very often, especially after level 4, and Fanny might visit our lane often. Warrior boots gives us a good amount of physical defense to tank through this damage, so we can stay in lane longer and not miss farm.
First blood! Double kill!
Seems like the enemy overextended, and we managed to capitalize on their mistake. This is a good start for us, especially since we're at a disadvantage for the early game. Now for our next item, I'm going to build Golden Staff straight away. Golden Staff improves our DPS through its decent physical attack stat, and boosts our attack speed through stats and its passive. Its passive can also activate bonus triggers of attack effects, which basically means we get bonus procs of any attack effects that we have. As mentioned earlier, Roger's passives counts as attack effects, so we can get bonus triggers on those whenever the Golden Staff passive is activated. We are going to build on the Golden Staff synergy even further as we progress with our build. In addition, the decent physical attack stat is actually going to be important when we talk about the next item after this.
It's not my only weapon!
The enemy has slain that! Enemy reached level 4.
You can't get away!
Now that Granger is level 4, he's going to be doing a lot of poking with his long-range attacks. That's why the early warrior boots is going to be important. Also, some of you may not know that Roger is actually more tanky in his wolf form by gaining extra hybrid defense while in this form. So it can be beneficial to stay in this form if you're expecting to take damage. One of the key tactics you can use, especially if the opposite laner is stronger than you, is to freeze the minion wave, like I'm doing here. As you can see, it helps keep the minion wave position nearer to our turret, letting us farm more safely. This also forces the enemy to position deeper into the lane if they want to farm, opening them up to be ganked more easily.
Ult is ready.
I detect the scent of prey!
Launch attack!
We're going to be completing Golden Staff soon, so let's begin talking about our next item. In this specific match, I'm more worried about survival as Granger can put immense pressure on us in lane, and then Fanny can finish us off easily. This is why I want to go for defensive utility next, and the recently buffed Rose Gold Meteor is perfect for this. It offers us a good balance of offense and defense, since it has offensive stats, while also having a useful shield and a passive that gives us hybrid defense. Remember when I said the physical attack stats from Golden Staff is going to be important? That's because Rose Gold Meteor's passive was buffed in the recent patch, and it now gives us hybrid defense depending on our physical attack. We can gain up to 50 hybrid defense this way, which helps us survive a lot better.
gun. It's not my only weapon.
Launch attack! An ally has slain the turtle! Ally has been
Roger's human form first skill fires 2 bullets and they both have different effects. The first bullet slows the enemy, while the second bullet reduces the enemy's physical defense. This helps to soften up the enemy so that we can deal more damage, so it's ideal if we can start any combo with human form first skill. If you're planning to build Malefic Gun, you can build Fury Hammer early to synergize with this skill for even more damage. However, my plan for this game does not include Malefic Gun, which I'll elaborate on later.
You can't get away. I detect the scent of prey.
request backup!
I was pinging Tigreal to help me in my lane for a short while, since we can obviously see Franco coming to help Granger. Plus, the turtle is at least 20 seconds away. Unfortunately, he ignored me and left me alone. Even though we've done really well to keep up with Granger's farm on a side lane where he had easy access to the gold crab, we're still not going to win this 1v2 if Franco manages to out me. This is why I decided to abandon our turret, since our team doesn't want to help anyways. It's better to let the turret fall than to die trying to defend it, and it still falls anyways.
Slain! Ally has been thanks!
Test the might of my bullet.
Our next item is going to be the recently buffed Demon Hunter Sword. It now heals us for a fixed amount per basic attack, which means the faster we attack, the faster we heal. Take note that this healing effect, along with Demon Hunter's signature HP shredding passive, are both considered attack effects, and I think I've talked about that enough that you already know what that means by now. Demon Hunter is going to help us a lot with sustain, especially so we don't have to recall as much after fights, which means we can remain on field and have a tempo advantage, whether by continuing to farm or to push lanes. This is why I want to prioritize it earlier in the build.
Oh, no. Launch attack! Our turret is ready. Launch attack! Enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. Thanks. Launch attack! Double kill!
I detect the scent of prey.
We'll be completing Demon Hunter Sword soon, so let's talk about our next item, which is Corrosion Scythe. This item provides the highest attack speed in the game, greatly improving our DPS. Remember that most of the attack effects are triggered with each basic attack, which means we can trigger them more often if we attack faster. Corrosion Scythe itself also has a really simple attack effect passive, which deals extra damage per basic attack. And of course, this synergizes well with Golden Staff. If you don't already know, the combo of Demon Hunter Sword, Golden Staff and Corrosion Scythe is known as the Trinity build, as they synergize with each other well and maximize attack effect mechanics.
An enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. Ally has been slain.
Casting Wolfform's second skill buffs Roger's attack speed for the next 5 seconds, but it'll also reveal all nearby enemies with less than 40% HP, while giving a move speed boost. This helps to hunt down enemies that are trying to escape when they're dying.
Shut down. Mega kill. Double kill. Request backup. Triple kill. An attack under attack.
Oh, I don't think I've talked about the emblems yet, so let's do it now. I've chosen the Assassin emblem as the penetration and move speed are desirable to improve our damage and mobility. Penetration synergizes well with human form first skill to amplify damage. Killing Spree is a nice core talent to have, as it gives us that extra boost to finish off more targets with Roger's skill set. But if you don't like it, Weakness Finder or Quantum Charge are nice alternatives. I should mention that the newly buffed Fighter emblem can also be nice if you want to secure your laning phase better, as it gives extra hybrid defense and now has hybrid lifesteal for sustaining.
Slain.
Similar to Karina and Matisse, Roger is an excellent teamfight finisher as they have finisher skills. Wolfform's first skill deals burst damage to the target and 2 other enemies nearby, but the cooldown on this skill is also significantly reduced whenever you get an assist or kill. This happens whether or not this skill is the one that last hits, so it's not too difficult to get that cooldown reduced. This is a big part of why Roger is such a great finisher.
Request backup. An ally has slain Lord. Our turret under attack. Godlike. Initiate retreat. Legendary. Double kill. Triple kill.
You can see how effective this build is at sustaining true damage, while also dishing out some pain of its own. To top off the build, we are going to be building Malefic Roar for its high physical penetration. This is in preparation of Hilda and Franco building into high physical defenses, as they are already building those items. While Malefic Gun is nice for its extra mobility and slight boost to range, Malefic Roar offers more penetration to shred tanks faster than Gun. So either choice is good, and you can build based on the situation.